You bought a gym membership. You went for a week, maybe 2. Then you stopped. And now you carry that guilt like a weight in your chest every time you see the charge on your credit card. They told you it was discipline you lacked. They told you it was willpower. They lied. Here's what they won't tell you. That gym membership, it's not a pathway to health. It's a tax on confusion. A subscription to a system designed to make you feel inadequate. Because the secret they're hiding is this: your body doesn't need a gym. It never did. Professor Daniel Lieberman, evolutionary biologist at Harvard, spent decades studying human physiology. His conclusion shattered the fitness industry's foundation. Humans weren't designed for sport. We weren't built for lifting heavy objects in climate-controlled rooms while staring at mirrors. We were engineered for something far simpler. Movement. Constant, natural, rhythmic movement. The kind our ancestors did for millions of years before someone convinced us we needed a personal trainer to be healthy. Think about it. For 99% of human existence, nobody did bicep curls. Nobody ran on treadmills. They walked, they moved, and they were healthier than we are now. So what happened? How did we get here? How did an entire civilization forget the most basic function of the human body? Harvard conducted one of the largest health studies in human history. 600,000 people, multiple countries, years of data. They wanted to know what actually extends life. Not theory, not fitness marketing, actual documented longevity. And here's what they found. 30 minutes of brisk walking per day reduces your risk of premature death by 40%. 40%. No gym, no equipment, no supplements, just walking. Let that sink in for a second. You've been told you need high-intensity interval training. You've been sold protein powders and recovery drinks. You've been convinced that health requires suffering, discipline, and expensive memberships. But the data says otherwise. The data says your body already knows exactly what it needs, and it's free. But here's where it gets interesting. Walking isn't just exercise. It's a biological cleaning system. Your calf muscles, those muscles you ignore unless you're wearing heels, function as your second heart. When you walk, they contract and release in a rhythmic pump. They push lymphatic fluid up from your feet. They move venous blood back toward your heart against gravity. This isn't poetic language. This is documented physiology. Your body has a backup circulation system, and it only activates when you walk. Sit for 8 hours a day. That system shuts down. Fluid pools in your legs. Toxins accumulate. Your cardiovascular system works twice as hard to do half the job. And you wonder why you're tired all the time. The fitness industry sells you solutions to problems they created. They took away your natural movement patterns and sold them back to you as cardio. They pathologized, rest, and monetized exhaustion. And it worked. Because you believed them. Now let me tell you what they really don't want you to know. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman from Stanford discovered something the wellness industry buried. He calls it optic flow. When you walk forward, the visual world moves past your eyes at a steady pace. Left to right, background to foreground. This moving visual field sends a signal directly to your amygdala. That's the fear center of your brain. The part that holds your anxiety, your stress, your chronic tension. And that signal, it tells the amygdala to calm down, to power down, to release its grip. Walking is neurological therapy, not metaphorically, literally. Every step you take forward rewires your stress response. 20 minutes of walking can do what an hour of talk therapy struggles to accomplish. And it costs nothing. Think about the last time you had a problem you couldn't solve. Maybe you sat at your desk staring at the wall. Maybe you refreshed social media hoping for a distraction. But what happened when you finally stood up and took a walk? The answer came, not because you tried harder, because your brain finally had permission to process. That's not coincidence, that's biology. Movement unlocks cognition. Sitting locks it down. But we've built an entire civilization around sitting. We sit in cars, we sit at desks, we sit for entertainment. And when we finally decide to move, we're told we need to pay someone to teach us how. We're told we need special shoes, special clothes, special spaces. We're told our natural movement isn't good enough. Here's the truth they won't publish. Marketing convinced you that health is expensive, that transformation requires investment, that your body is a project requiring professional management. But your DNA doesn't read price tags. Your cells don't recognize brands. Your mitochondria don't care about membership tiers. They care about one thing: signal. Every time you move, you send a message to every cell in your body. You tell them, we are alive, we are functioning. Do not initiate shutdown protocols. Do not begin the aging cascade. Stay active, stay alert, keep repairing. Sit still for too long? Your body reads that as a different message. It interprets stillness as preparation. Preparation for the end. So it starts the process. Muscle breaks down. Bone density decreases. Metabolic rate slows. Inflammation increases. Your body isn't betraying you. It's responding to the information you're giving it. And right now, most people are telling their bodies that survival is no longer necessary. This is why people age faster in retirement. It's not about leaving work, it's about stopping movement. The body receives the signal. Mission complete. And it acts accordingly. So, what does this mean for you? What does this change about tomorrow morning when you wake up? Everything. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to punish yourself with burpees at 5 a.m. You don't need to become someone you're not. You need to become who you were designed to be. A moving creature, a walking animal, a human being who understands that health isn't something you purchase. It's something you practice. Get off the subway one stop early. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk to the store instead of driving. Park at the far end of the lot. These aren't trivial changes, these are signals. They compound, they accumulate. They rewrite the story your body is telling itself about its own future. The fitness industry built an empire on your insecurity. They pathologized your natural state and sold you the cure. But you were never broken. You were just convinced that sitting was normal and movement was exercise. They flipped the script. They made you believe that 8 hours of sitting followed by 1 hour of intense suffering was healthier than just moving throughout the day like your body expects. Here's the reality. A person who walks 10,000 steps spread across the day is healthier than someone who runs 5 miles and then sits for 10 hours. But nobody's selling you a step-based subscription model. There's no monthly fee for sidewalks, no premium tier for park paths. So they convinced you it doesn't count. But your body counts. Every step, every movement, every signal. And here's what's beautiful about this. Once you understand the mechanism, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how your body responds, how 20 minutes of walking shifts your mood, how an evening stroll improves your sleep, how moving after meals regulates your blood sugar better than any medication. You become your own research study, and the data is undeniable. This isn't about rejecting fitness. If you love the gym, go to the gym. But don't go because you think it's the only path. Don't torture yourself with activities you hate because someone told you health requires suffering. It doesn't. It requires alignment. Alignment with what your body was designed to do. Walk before breakfast. Walk after dinner. Walk when you're stressed. Walk when you're thinking. Walk when you're talking on the phone. Walk instead of scrolling. Walk instead of sitting in traffic if you can. Walk because it's free. Walk because it works. Walk because 10,000 generations of your ancestors did it without needing permission or instruction. The treadmill was invented to punish prisoners. Now we pay monthly to use it. Let that irony settle for a moment. You want the real secret to longevity? It's not hidden in a lab. It's not locked behind a paywall. It's printed on every sidewalk, carved into every trail, written in the design of your own legs. Movement is medicine. Not the kind you swallow, the kind you embody. This isn't a fitness revolution. It's a correction, a return to baseline, a recognition that the most powerful health technology ever invented is the one you were born with. Your body, moving through space, one step at a time. They don't want you connecting these dots. Because the moment you realize health is this simple, their entire business model collapses. You don't need them, you never did. You just needed to remember what it feels like to move like a human being. Not an athlete, not a gym member. A human being. So tomorrow morning, when you see that gym charge on your statement, don't feel guilty. Feel liberated. Cancel it if you want. Or don't, but either way, put on your shoes. Walk out your door and reclaim the one thing civilization took from you. The thing they can't sell back because they never owned it in the first place. Your body, your movement, your health. This isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature they tried to hide. Now you see it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. That changes everything. Starting with your next step.